Okay, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at some trades that I made over the last 2 days and some options that I sold. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. That way you don't miss any future videos that you might find interesting. And I've been documenting me trying to sell some options for some extra income for quite some time now. And if you walk away from this video and you want to learn more, I do have an affordable course linked down below. It goes over all of the things you need to know when it comes to selling options, all of the basics, and stuff that I've learned the hard way along the way. Thank you for even considering it. If we hop over to Robinhood, we can see I am up a bit since my last video. My last video, we were down in the 7,000s, or 70,000s, I should say, somewhere. And I kept to my word. In a couple of videos prior, I talked about wanting to more aggressively sell covered calls on Sofi. And when I sell covered calls, I like to do them a bit at a time, kind of like a dollar cost average, if you will. And I do this because I have so many shares of Sofi right now that it doesn't really make sense for me to sell all of these as calls at once, because the stock may go up as we saw today, and if I sold them all Monday, then I would have missed an opportunity later this week, right now, i.e. right now, to sell more calls on Sofi. And so what we're almost at 4,500 shares, which can amount to 45 contracts. And typically when I sell calls, to give you an example of one that I would look at selling and have sold, and if we just look at expiring in 2 days, this Friday, this $13 strike is one that I sold 9 on. And it has an 83% chance of it expiring, worthless, a delta of 0.21. And I get $9 per contract selling this. And then I take that $9 per contract and I buy more shares of Sofi. Or if I wanted to, I could withdraw it and buy some Chipotle, which I also do from time to time. And so I sell a little bit of calls at a time, and then if I see a big spike, kind of like what we saw today, I'll more aggressively sell, maybe even looking into next week. So we can see I sold 9 at the $13.50 strike, another 5 at the $13 strike, and then 3 at the $14 strike. All of different varying deltas, so some more risky than others, meaning they might expire in the money. And if it comes close to expiring in the money, I just take the ones that are close to expiring in the money and roll them out at a later expiration and potentially a higher strike price. And usually what occurs is I make even more premium when doing that. Maybe not as much as a fresh new call option that I sold, but still some nonetheless. As of right now, if we go back to my Sofi position, which wild enough, while recording this jumped from $12.50 down to almost $12. Something just might have happened. But I have 2,600 shares tied up as collateral, meaning I have 26 call options that I've sold that are open right now. You can see I also have some puts that I've sold previously. Haven't really sold many lately. It's been more just calls, but I do have some of those as well. Some such as this $12.50, which is now in the money. It wasn't 5 minutes ago, but if it continues to be in the money, I will look at rolling something like this as well. As for so far this month, we are on the 2nd of November, so we're only 2 days into this month, and I've made $532 in premium. Some of this from the SPY, $75 from selling a covered call on the SPY, and if we break it up by ticker symbol, actually, looks like they added the ability to give the sums per ticker symbol. So now we have $209 total from selling options on Sofi in the last 2 days. And this one right here, I actually put it as a put when it should be a call. And then something I ended up doing just before making this video is I sold 3 more contracts on this $13 strike call option that I sold. There were 3 of them, amounting to $24 total for the 3 that I can also add to this position. So we see the $10, we see the $18 that we saw in the history here. But now we can add an extra $24 to this one. So really, we're looking at $233 in premium from selling options on Sofi in 2 days. I ended up also selling this put on NVIDIA, and this wasn't the case an hour ago, but it looks like it's getting closer to becoming in the money. So I'm going to keep my eye on this one, and if it does, I will roll it into next week. But I did make a pretty good amount on that NVIDIA trade. I originally sold a put at 105. I rolled it up to 108, making an additional $47. So total amounts to $148 from selling this one put and then rolling it up. And so that's pretty much it. I'm going to continue to keep an eye on Sofi. If it ends up going back down as we see right now, then a lot of these call options will probably expire worthless. And if it continues to go up, we're going to look at rolling some out in expiration and maybe adding on to some new ones. And of course, I'll keep you guys posted as I do. If you want to go check out the course or check out the spreadsheet, they're down below. You can help out the channel that way. And I really appreciate it. I hope to see you in a future video.